Expunged is the main villain, and is the main villain of Season 1 and major antagonist of Bob's World. But let's go over Expunge's character development, how he works, and what his motives are. Expunge is a godlike being that exists inside of a tiny little dimension in Bob's World called the 3D realm. Expunge created the 3D realm as a tiny safe haven and tortures anyone who accidentally enters in it. But he also likes to enter people's dreams and torture them in there, so he gets a little hint on the other dimensions. Let's go over his many appearances across Bob's World. Expunge's first appearance was on Season 1, Episode 4, Bob's Tormentor, when he goes into one of Bob's dreams and torments him there. He makes Bob compete in a number of trials to see if he will win them. Bob wins and defeats Expunged. Expunge's next appearance was on Episode 7, Season 1, Bandu's brother problems. In it, Bandu explains that he's having problems with his relationship with his brother Expunged. That was mainly the first appearance of Bandu on Bob's World. Expunge's next appearance in Bob's World was Season 1, Episode 14, Elmo Joins the Apple Core Crew, where Elmo appears as the newest pawn in Expunge's plan to take over the second dimension. Expunge's major appearance in Season 1 was the last episode of Season 1. Season 1, Episode 20, the finale. In the finale, Expunge, Disruption Bambi, and Bandu break out of the portal to the 3D realm out of Dave's basement. They break into Bob's house after the night with the Devil Butcher. And Bob and Bambi make a hell weapon called Hellbreaker that beats Expunged up. But Hellbreaker eventually becomes a greater villain in Bob's World and will appear more in Season 2. Expunge's first appearance of Season 2 was Episode 3, Expunge Returns. In it, Expunge does the same thing he does in his first appearance. He tortures Bob in his sleep, makes him compete in a number of challenges, and leaves. Season 2, Episode 4, Tristan and Buffy's Playdate, is Expunge's next appearance. Tristan and Buffy run into Dave's basement and go into the 3D realm portal, and do the whole thing they did in the anniversary episode. Okay, I didn't mention the anniversary. Moving on. They get tortured by Expunged until Dave and Bob have to go in and beat Expunged up. Expunge's newest appearance in Bob's World was Season 2, Episode 5, Felt Characters, where all the characters are made of felt now, and when Bandu is trying to make Cooking with Bandu 11, Bob mentions Burger and the Hot Dog Bun. If you remember in the first episode of Cooking with Bandu, Expunged ruins the whole thing with cooked burger and a hot dog bun, so he spawns, eats Bambi and Bandu, and beats Bob, Ron, and Little Man up. He eats Little Man, but he explains to Bob and Ron that he just wants to make burger and hot dog buns now, and Ron doesn't agree, so Expunge eats Ron, and Bob and Expunge eat their burger and hot dog buns. Those were all of Expunge's appearances on Bob's World, except for the anniversary of the first season of Bob's World, which he did appear in by torturing Tristan and Buffy. But let's go over his character motives now. But before we do that, let's explain where Expunge was before episode 4. Expunge Bambi and Disruption Bambi, who will now be used as a placeholder for Bambi in the 3D realm. Wait, he's going to be his own character now. Never mind. Expunge Bandu and Disruption Bambi exists prior strictly inside of the 3D realm and never in any other dimensions. They're pretty bored there, even though it is a wide space. Bandu has his own house. Destruction Bambi can beat up phones. But sometimes Expunged, their third brother and the god of that universe, likes to travel through dimensions. And one day he appeared in the second dimension, where Bob was. He tortured Bob in his sleep to get a little peek at the second dimension to see if the inhabitants were viable. And that was the first dimension Expunged lost that. This made Expunged bitter and angry, which means he is being meaner to his brothers. Bandu goes to Bob's house to comply with the others that Expunged is being mean to him. And then Elmo comes as to his pawn in his plan to take over this second dimension, but gets exiled by Expunged for being poor. Expunged does exceed what he really wants, but it fails. He gets sent back to his realm, and has only made small appearances in the newer times he has appeared. Expunge's whole shtick in the first season was that he wanted to take over the second dimension for himself. He wanted to collide both the 3D realm and the 2D realm, and merge it all together and destroy it for its own entertainment. He would take his brothers out first, and Bambi, but, yeah. Why Expunges does this is kind of similar to why Bob has a vendetta against Boyfriend in the original Bob's Onslaught. Bob beat him in a rap battle, which made Expunge bitter and angry, and made him want to go back to the 3D realm. Expunge became bitter and angry because he got beaten, which means Expunged, well, wanted for the last 16 episodes to plan what would be the 20th episode of Bob's World, being the finale. He takes over the episode after episode 19, The Devil Butcher, and exiles Bob Belzeb from the cast. He then does a lot of evil stuff and becomes his treachery design. And as I already explained, Bob, Bambi, and Dave unleash Hellbreaker from the second dimension. At least I think that's what happened. He comes to beat up Expunged. After that, he realizes he's far more powerful than him, which means he could become a villain in his own. So that's what he decides, and for the rest of Season 2, Hellbreaker will be the main villain. Yes, although there is a character who is much more stronger than Expunged and Hellbreaker combined. But he hasn't appeared on the show yet. So, that was Expunge's character details. I hope you liked this video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see more Bob's World episodes. Till then, goodbye.